In American history, stories of legendary figures from the Wild West have always captured our imaginations. The Earp brothers are famous as legendary lawmen and notorious gunmen. Wyatt, Virgil, Morgan, James, Newton, and Warren Earp, the youngest in the Earp family. In this video, we dive into the mysterious life of Warren Earp and uncover the mysteries that led to his sad death, the forgotten hero of the Old West. Warren Earp, younger brother of Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan Earp, is a lawman and gunman like the rest of his brothers. Warren Baxter Earp, born March 9, 1855, in Pella, Iowa. In the family, Wyatt, Morgan, and Warren were too young to actively participate in the American Civil War like their older brothers James, Virgil, and Newton. In fact, he was 18 years younger than Newton. His journey took another turn when Warren and his brothers embarked on a voyage to Tombstone, Arizona in 1880. At Tombstone, Warren worked for Virgil as deputy, responsible for tax collection and periodic sentinel duty. On the other hand, Wyatt's won Pharaoh's concession at the famous Oriental Saloon, while Virgil held the position of deputy field marshal in mid-1881. He also became field marshal of Tombstone. During this time, the Earps were in constant conflict with a notorious group of outlaws known as the Cowboys. Engaging in daring cattle thefts, the Cowboys repeatedly made threats, vowing to eliminate the Earp brothers if they dared to interfere. Analyzing the historical records, it is clear that Warren Earp played an important but lesser-known role alongside his brothers in Tombstone's tumultuous landscape. Warren was at his parents' home in Colton, California at the time of the OK Corral gunfight on October 26, 1881. A few months later, on December 28th, Virgil Earp was ambushed by the Cowboys, resulting in serious injury. The situation became tense. Warren quickly returned to Tombstone to support his brothers. At 10:50 p.m. on Saturday, March 18, 1882, after returning from a musical at Shefflin Hall, Morgan was ambushed. He was playing a late game of pool at Campbell and Hatch Billiard Parlor with owner Bob Hatch. At the same time, Dan Tipton, Sherman McMaster, and Wyatt followed and received threats that same day. The attackers shot Morgan through the top half of a 4-pane window. The bottom 2 windows have been repainted. The door opened onto a dark alley that ran through the block between Allen and Fremont Streets. Morgan, about 3 feet from the door, was struck in the back by a bullet that injured his spine, then flew forward and lodged in the thigh of mining foreman George A.B. Berry. Another bullet hit the wall near the ceiling above Wyatt's head. Several men rushed into the alley but discovered the shooter had fled. Despite the best medical treatment at the time, the wound was so severe that Morgan died less than an hour after being shot. Worried about this loss, Warren decided to join a security team, ensuring the safety of Virgil and Allie as they were driven to Tucson to catch the train to California. At the station, Frank Stillwell and Ike Clanton were spotted waiting for Virgil, waiting for the right moment to strike. But Wyatt and the group were one step ahead, an accurate shot ending Frank Stillwell's life, and Ike Clanton escaped. Indictments were subsequently filed, naming Warren, Wyatt, Doc Holliday, Turkey Creek Jack Johnson, and Sherman McMaster as the charged parties. Responding quickly to these allegations, Judge Charles Meyer of Pima County promptly issued arrest warrants for all 5 men. After receiving notice of the ordinance, Cochinchina County Sheriff Johnny Behan quickly assembled his deputies and enlisted the assistance of Tombstone City Marshal Dave Neagle. Gathered outside the famous Cosmopolitan Hotel, Behan and his men prepared to arrest the Earp brothers. At the time, the Earps were leaving the hotel lobby, armed, and on their way to pick up horses from Montgomery's stable. Behan said slowly to Vice Marshal of the United States Earp, "Wyatt, I want to see you." Wyatt replied calmly, "You might see me once too often." Behan and his comrades made no attempt to prevent the Earps from leaving Tombstone that same night. Over the course of the next week, the Earp group engaged in a campaign of retaliation across Cochise County, killing 3 more cowboys they believed had attacked their loved ones. Incredibly, no legal proceedings have been initiated, nor have the men ever been convicted. After the legendary Earp vendetta trip, Warren left for Arizona for a while. He returned in 1891, working as a mail driver along the route between Wilcox and Fort Grant. Warren worked for a short time as a range detective for a wealthy rancher, Henry Hooker, in Cochise County, Arizona. According to historical data, Warren Earp was initially an honest and naive person, but his personality underwent a change after the Tombstone shootings, as he became known for his many aggressive and domineering behaviors, tarnishing the reputations of the brothers. Virgil was afraid that Warren's temper would get him into a lot of trouble. In 1898, Virgil experienced a memorable reunion with his first wife Ellen and their daughter Nellie, who was informed of his death during the Civil War. They had the opportunity to visit twice, during which Nellie shared with the Oregonian her father's sobering words. "If Warren ever dies, he will be shot. He's too hasty, quick-tempered, and too ready to pick a quarrel. Besides, he will not let bygones be bygones, and on that account, I expect that he will meet a violent death." On July 6, 1900, as predicted by Virgil, a dispute broke out between Warren and Johnny Boyette, the scope boss employed by Hooker, inside Brown's saloon in Wilcox. Before that night, there were tensions and rumors spread that their hatred for each other stemmed from their feelings for a beautiful local prostitute. However, according to the Tombstone epitaph, it was Warren Earp's frequent threats to Boyette that caused the confrontation. When night fell, the 2 men, both drunk, began arguing. Bystanders said the scene was very tense at the time. Warren Earp provocatively challenged Boyette, saying, "Boyette, get your gun and we'll settle this right here. I've got mine. Go and get yours." Boyette quickly left and returned armed with 2 .45 caliber Colt pistols. From a distance, Boyette loudly called out to Earp. Upon seeing Earp, Boyette quickly fired 2 shots, but unfortunately both missed. Earp calmly walked out of the pub onto the street without a gun. Feeling like he was teasing himself, Boyette fired 2 more shots, both times failing. Without hesitation, Earp entered the pub again, walking over to Boyette while taking off his jacket and vest. With composure, he declared, "I've got no arms. You have a good deal, the best of this." Earp continued to move toward Boyette, repeatedly challenging. Boyette, clearly confused but still angry, repeatedly warned Earp to stop approaching. Suddenly, with a loud bang, Boyette fired a 5th shot, this time hitting Earp in the chest, killing him instantly. Boyette claims he acted in self-defense, alleging that as Warren Earp got closer, he feared that his life was in danger. When Warren Earp's body was discovered, he didn't have any guns, but a knife is hidden in his hand. The Tombstone epitaph reported on July 9, 1900, Warren Earp, the youngest of the 4 Earp brothers, whose names 20 years ago were synonymous with gunfighting on the Arizona frontier, died with his boots on here. He was shot through the heart in a saloon by Cowboy Johnny Boyette and died almost immediately. Boyette was arrested for the shooting. The coroner's investigation confirmed that he killed Earp. Boyette sought protection from the local sheriff, fearing retaliation by the Earp brothers. He left the area to work on a Hooker ranch, away from Wilcox for a long time, but Earps never sought revenge. Boyette eventually retired to Redlands, California. He later died in Texas. Warren Earp is buried in Wilcox, Arizona, in the Pioneer Cemetery.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.